take you home.
Hello and welcome to the Help My Unbelief podcast, the #1 Christian podcast designed for the unbeliever. What's up, big dog?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
I am joyful. Today, my granddaughter, all right, my 16-year-old granddaughter,
Yeah.
passed her test. She now is a licensed driver.
Really?
In the state of Texas.
Dude, you have a 16-year-old granddaughter?
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Your granddaughter's older than my actual daughter, dude.
Okay, well, I hadn't added that together, but thanks for pointing it out.
You know what that means, right? Old. You. Bad.
Not really.
No?
No. The amazing thing is I didn't really start my family early. I was like 21, 22 when I had my first daughter.
That's early.
And then my daughter was like 19 or 20 when she had hers.
Well, how old was I then? Because Keegan's 13 and I'm 37, so 27, 25, 24, yeah.
Okay, so you started a little late.
Is that late?
In today's world,
Well, Keegan told me that,
somewhat.
all her friends and stuff say I'm young. So I assume that, like, their parents are, like, quite a bit older than me.
There are people that think I'm young.
I hear that, like, people tell Keegan all the time. They're like,
there are people that look at me and go, oh, my goodness, you're like 60?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like 15.
You look more like 72.
Yeah. I think I look great for 80. But,
Yeah.
you know, that's the truth of it.
So we got a problem. We got a visor problem.
We do not have, yeah.
We got a visor problem, dude.
A little bit, but not drastic.
So I'm going to go over this real quick.
I once again have been pulled on the coals.
Yeah.
And I have to apologize.
Yeah,
There
here
was
we
an
go.
accidental indiscretion
so
that I did not intend and didn't catch.
Larry's got to do a Bill Clinton.
This is my list, okay? I just went over everything. I've been trying to do it by memory, but I've been trying to do it. So today, while we were waiting to set up, or while they were setting up and I was doing absolutely nothing, I went through every one of the episodes. And by the way, congratulations. This is actually episode 25.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
We're a quarter away to 100.
Can you imagine that?
That's insane, man. It's like, it feels like yesterday we were shooting the test episode and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
And the funny thing is, because when we first started, you said, keep it down to an hour, and
now we're doing an hour 40, pretty solid, yeah.
Yeah, and some of them are 2 hours long.
Yeah, I saw you doing that list, and you were doing something like, and he wasn't talking about what he was doing, and he was doing something like intense, and I was like, wow, he must be doing some like intense preparation for today's episode or something.
Considering I don't even have an idea.
Yeah. And then
of
I was
who
like,
we're talking with today.
And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm making a list about all my visors I've worn. And I guess we have do you want to explain what the problem is?
Yes.
Here, Bill, say,
look,
I did not intend for this to happen.
Please don't do that. I can't stand that one. I have a multitude of visors, and a lot of my visors I wear as a constant, okay? Especially when I'm doing my lawn work and stuff. But I have a buku, and that is an actual number, of camouflage visors. And even two of them are identical, seriously. But I was going through the episodes, and I noticed one of mine, you will not notice it, but I did.
They will now.
Is in episode 3, I wore the same visor as in episode 9. And I know why I put it on was because of the shirt I had on. I just gotten that shirt. It had the camouflage on it, and I wanted to match.
What do you think we should do about this? What do you think we need to do to resolve this issue?
Well, pay attention, I guess, a little bit more in detail and get on to me when I'm wrong. But, you know, I've got a list, all right? And so out of 25 episodes, I've worn 24 visors, and I thought I had worn 25.
Man, I'm like,
so
I feel like we should just scrap this whole show and start over.
I think we need to. But, hey, if you notice that this one kind of sort of matches the one in episode 21, pay attention. It's basically the same color, but one has a red polo, and this one is a browning. Totally different things. Okay, that's a deer, and you know what polo is because everybody does.
What's your What's your biggest, I'm going to hit you with just something here. What's your biggest concern just about the world right now? What's your biggest concern when you look at something?
Are you not reading my devotionals?
No.
My biggest concern is that there are people that are actually not going to understand or come to know the Lord before he comes back. The time is imminent. I mean, everything out there is facing toward this is the end times. And, I don't want my daughter to miss it. I don't want any of my daughters to miss it. I don't want any of my granddaughters to miss it. And in truth, I'm going to say I'm actually pretty proud of my granddaughters right now. Both of them, I've been sending them the devotional. And both of them I got 2 granddaughters.
You probably don't send it to one of your daughters, right? Like,
I don't send it to she doesn't acknowledge any text at all. There's
no
really?
Phone.
She won't answer a phone call.
Oh, you don't talk to her at all?
Text. No, I can't. I send her stuff periodically just to see if it gets through. I know my prayers are getting through. That's all I got to work on.
No, I mean, do you talk to her personally just about anything?
No,
oh, really?
No, she's completely cut me off.
Dang.
Which, look, testimony time a little bit. I was away from my dad for 35 years and wouldn't acknowledge his existence.
Yeah.
Okay? So she can't be more stubborn than me. All right?
Yeah. Don't challenge her.
Can't be.
She's yours.
So, yeah, I know. And she thinks that this is her original thought, but, sweet. I did it for 35 years. And the Lord brought me back to him. And I know the Lord is going to bring you back too.
So because you've seemed a little cranky the last 2 or 3 weeks, not like cranky, like you just kind of seemed a little more like closed off and stuff like that. Is that why? Is because you're growing more concerned about, do you think it's the show where you actually before you only hung around with Christians and now you have to, you're literally, we're just being injected in the unbeliever world and you see just how because, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say Christianity is becoming obsolete. It's not. It's still a massive. Part of the people that are alive, right? But it's instead of growing, it's going down, right?
Well, I think I'm equalizing out a little bit. When I was in the world, back in the biker world, and the drinking and the drugging and smoking and all that stuff, I was immersed in that. Yet my family still had Christians. So, I mean, it wasn't like I grew up in the church, so I didn't discount anybody. I mean, trust me, I've had discussions about Jesus at the bar. Well,
I used to do that too. I used to be trash drunk talking about God.
Yeah.
It's almost like
why
a double
would that
dip.
even,
Yeah.
Why would somebody want to debate me on Jesus?
Yeah.
When I was like, I was drunk, and that was a subject we hadn't talked about. So There we go. But when I walked away from that, I really honestly felt that God helped me shed all of those. And when you say God changed somebody, God changed me to the point that I didn't go back to the bar. I walked away from that lifestyle completely. I missed a friend's funeral. I missed several friends' old friends' funerals because I would not go back to that because, hey, let's have a drink to so-and-so's life. Why? If you don't know what their physical or spiritual destination is,
why would you celebrate that?
Yeah, I can't anymore. I can't at all. And it's unfortunate that I can't show my respect, but, I should have been. It brings it back that maybe I could have witnessed to him even then, but I wasn't of the Lord.
Me, I could get, if I die, I could care less if you come and show respect when I'm already dead because I'm not going to see that. I'm not going to be here to see that. I want you to show me respect when I'm here. I'd hope you'd help take care of
that's pride in itself.
I'd hope you'd take care of my family when I'm gone and stuff like that. But as far as coming to my funeral, I'd rather you just show me respect while I'm here.
And you're talking personally me to you. I'm sorry.
No, okay. No, not you. No, I just mean in general. If no one shows up to my funeral, I think that'd probably hurt my family. But for me, I'm not there, bro.
Well, funerals are not for the dead. They're for the living.
Yeah.
You're showing respect, not for the dead person, but for the living.
Yeah.
So if it's you, then I'll be there holding Angela's hand and letting her cry on my shoulder and. Yeah. My wife will be there as well, so don't make anything weird on that. But Truthfully, it's just the changes that we're going through. So I immersed myself into church people. And, the hardest thing you've mentioned several times before, that, what do Christians do for fun? We did a lot of different things, gathering with others. Like, Bo was in episode 4, and he's actually a friend of ours. He's a little younger than I am, so he's more like y'all's age because he's got kids y'all's ages. But
I'm still younger than Bo, though.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm just
he's
so
like 50
young,
now.
dude.
Yeah, I went to his 50th birthday.
It's starting to become a problem how young I am. It really is.
Well, we try to just treat you as like a little younger cousin or something, but
don't say cousin. Don't say cousin. Oh Lord!
But it is because there's a whole. I'm literally have 2 daughters older than you.
Bro, pretty close though, right? Like they're pretty close to my age.
One's 39 and the next one's 38. How old are you?
Oh yeah. Well, Angela's a cougar. She's quite a bit older than me.
Well,
how old are you? 45? 44, yeah.
Oh, 44.
Lord have mercy.
44.
I wish we had a cougar soundtrack right now.
Darcy's younger than I am.
Uh-huh.
So it kind of throws things off a little bit too.
She's younger than you?
Yeah.
Quite a bit, huh?
7.
7 years?
7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7, yeah.
And I've had weird people. Not weird. I've had people
I love it when you talk and don't talk in the mic. I love that.
You're not talking to me. I'm on the mic. But now, with my wife, I don't know if they're insulting her or complimenting me when they say, "We're y'all high school sweethearts."
Yeah, I hope not.
No.
She was in middle school, bro. Yeah.
No.
Isn't it how it's like almost despicable whenever they're young, like when they're younger, but like 7 years is like nothing. Like when you get older.
When you get older,
it's
7
nothing.
years isn't that
yeah.
bad. No.
It's not even you don't even put a thought into it. You don't even put a decade. Like a thought. Like my grandpa and grandma, they were 10 years apart.
Oh, I dated a couple of girls that were quite a bit older than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought here was my honest thought process because I dated so many girls.
I will say this: in your 20s, you're stupid. But okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
I dated so many girls that were younger or my same age, and they were all just like crazy. And so I started dating older to get away from the crazy, and then it still kind of just happened crazy. But luckily, I finally found a middle-aged one here that is not crazy. Yeah. She's like one of the boys.
But back to our original statement, let me redirect there. It is a little bit different because I did surround myself with Christian friends, and I stayed away from the secular world quite a bit, and I have focused on almost all my attention with people like Larry, people out of this church that I grew close with.
And so it's not like it's foreign to you, but it is something that's new right now.
Yeah, but I mean, we go witness wherever we went and witnessed.
Yeah, but it's just like you're going in and witness. But
this is having a discussion with somebody about their beliefs, and it's like.
And then we have to try to,
I'm trying not to insult them and trying to not get angry or let Satan get anything in.
I had a discussion with someone today. And everybody is like, man, like, why do you think it bothers Larry so much? Why do you think it bothers him so much when someone doesn't believe the same thing he does? I said, I don't know. Like, we haven't talked about it. I was like, but I'll tell you this. Like everybody sits here and looks at me and they're like, oh, I love Zach's approach and how he can be so patient, kind, and tolerant and stuff like this. And I tell them, I said, listen, like God made me this way about how I am right now. Like I don't have to do anything to be this way towards people. Larry has to come in and fight. Like he has to try to be different. It's hard for Larry. Like Larry's trying to be better for these people so they can come to know God. I'm just being myself. It's easy for me. Like you're the one that it's actually hard for. You know what I mean? Like it's not that it's hard either. I'm not saying that you're like sitting here biting your nails every week, but like it's you're the one putting in effort. Like I'm not putting in any effort to be this way. God just made me this way, like to where I can just be like, okay, cool. You're worshiping Lucifer and burning animals. I'm like, and that's just the way I am, and that's fortunate for me. But like, but you're like, it makes you kind of like, it makes your skin crawl and stuff like that.
It's more so that they take their beliefs and they're teaching somebody else to move further away from God.
Yeah.
So, and yet at the same time, we get called false teachers. But the personal issues on this is I just want to be able to love like Jesus, and I'm trying my best, but I have a lot of flesh in my way as well.
Well, it's just like both of us when that Christian witch came on, like we both could not hide our
yeah.
We couldn't hide
there
our
really is an
facial-
emoji out there with me rolling my eyes.
I have it in my phone right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show it to me.
Yeah.
I'd heard about it.
But like me, I was smashing my face, and that's not how we should act either. Like I was disappointed.
It's not, but I was trying my best to not let it show. I didn't realize that it caught me.
I trained Angela because we use a system to where we use a camera switcher, right? To where Angela's running a camera switcher. So whoever's angle she thinks is best, she has it on. And I trained her. I said, man, you need to be watching for people's facial expressions. If someone's crying or if someone's laughing, or even if I'm talking, if Larry's doing this, I was like, you need to have that camera on him. And boy, she pegged it on the money on that episode.
So it's all your fault. It's all your fault.
I was like, do I go talk to her about like being less good at running the camera switcher? Because here's the thing that I'll say though, because people are saying, oh, you guys are supposed to be bridging the gap between unbelievers and Christians and stuff like that. Like there is no tolerance or forgiveness for us whenever we make mistakes like that. Like I was not prepared to have a Christian witch on that says that she works with Lucifer. I was not prepared to hear that kind of stuff. Who would be? For the love of Mary, who would be, you know? And we were shocked, and we were shocked at it and stuff like that. And it's stuff that we obviously disagree with. I think, you know, in 100 episodes from now, I'm sure we will have heard it all and we'll be able to contain our facial.
So. I don't think so.
Well, probably not, but I think we'll be able to contain our facial expressions more.
You know? I don't know, because I'm still aghast with what they did at the Grammys. I am still aghast at what they did at the Super Bowl. I'm blown away by some of these quote unquote church services that they had on Easter that were satanic in a church. I was completely angrified, if that's a good word.
I don't like it.
And I had to be by myself when I saw what they did in Brazil.
Yeah.
And I know I was not cheering when the flood came and flooded the whole street that they did that on. I mean, go check this stuff out. But I mean, disgusted.
Well, and I learned too from we had Phil Wickham in our church last week, right? Mm-hmm. And so no matter how
that concert was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. But no matter how much you live your life for the Lord, no matter how talented you are, no matter how much you devote your platform to God or whatever, you will never escape the hate from your own side and the other side as well. So the way I look at this is we will apologize when we need to. We will make changes and corrections when we need to, but I'm also not going to let you beat either one of us up. No one on my team am I going to allow you to beat us up, because we're human at the end of the day. If you don't like the way Larry reacts and how he is, don't listen. That's what I have to say. Don't listen to the show, because that's my partner, and he comes in and he fights every day to show love. And if you guys are trying to put a barrier down the middle, I'll tell you right now, it's easy for me. So you should be looking at Larry with more esteem than me, because I put no effort into being the way I am, and he does. So props to you for that.
My goal is, first off, thank you for the kind words. And my goal, in all honesty, is not for my glory, but for the glory of God in everything that I do. Yeah. Everything that I do should glorify God.
Yeah.
I can't do everything that way.
No,
my flesh won't let me.
Oh, I was gonna finish before I forget. So Phil Wickham was here, right? And the reason why I say this, because you brought up the Grammys. Okay, Phil Wickham took a bunch of heat, because did you know what happened at the Grammys? Phil Wickham was in the audience.
Oh yeah,
apparently, yeah.
Wow.
And the reason why he took so much heat is because Christians expected him and whoever else he was there at the Grammys with to get up and walk out, and they didn't. And so they took a bunch of heat in the media and stuff for that.
Because they would have.
And apparently a bunch of people said, I'm unfollowing Phil Wickham because
they would have
because he
done
didn't walk
that
out.
in theory and not in actuality because they weren't invited to the Grammys to begin with.
Especially if you were nominated for a Grammy, you would have got up and walked out, right? Wouldn't you have?
I would love to say that I would.
Yeah.
Because I don't care what man thinks.
Yeah.
I would love to be, I would love to have that opportunity. Let me say it that way. Could I do it if it was given to me?
Well,
I would love to say
Larry,
I could, but I don't know that I will.
We walk into situations where people are probably worshiping Satan right before we talk to them every day.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, should we leave or should we walk into it? That's the question. Do you, like, when you're a cop, do you run towards gunfire or do you run away from it?
Oh, unfortunately, I'd probably be like you and run toward it.
That's what I'm saying. What do we do? Like, I don't know. You don't remove the presence of God when the presence of Satan's there. That's called being a coward, right?
Yeah, but I can speculate all I want to, but until I'm put in a position, I cannot say.
That's why even
and does not the Bible say, "Judge not lest you be judged, and for with the same measure that you use, it will be measured back to you."
Yeah,
I don't need that on me for sure.
Well, and my point was that someone as tenured in the Christian ministry area as Phil Wickham, and he's beloved by many more than what we are beloved by.
We saw 1,100 of them here.
Yeah, and he gets he gets hate too. He gets chastised, and so we get chastised from both sides too. So it's going to continue to happen. But that's all I got to say is I wanted to say that was that. That this is a lot harder than it looks. So if you want to start pointing fingers about what you would do and stuff like that, then maybe you should start your own.
Yeah. Last week I made a comment about I didn't feel that you had to be baptized to go to heaven.
Oh yeah, did you see that?
I saw the comments on some of that stuff. I was like, oh goodness.
Yeah, I knew.
I lit them up.
Chopped alive for that.
I lit them up. All those authority people.
I almost responded to a couple of those, and because I know,
I just said thank you for your comment.
I know half these Christians that are commenting this stuff. Like I wanted to say yes or no. This is a yes or no question. I'm going to say this. This is a yes or no question. Was Jesus's work on the cross enough?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the people that were telling you that you have to get baptized to be saved, they would either have to say no or have to have a caveat statement. And that's all I want to know is yes or no.
Yeah, but Jesus did say you need to be baptized.
Yeah.
All right, I got it.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I agree with that as well.
I've been baptized by the Holy Spirit.
But I also, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're just being stubborn and not getting baptized, then I feel like there's probably a heart issue in there.
Very much so.
Like I said, but and so what's going on there. You need to check your heart. Like, it's not even the act of being baptized that I'm concerned about. It's more of like what's going on in your heart of why you're just being stubborn and not getting baptized. Is it because you don't like being in public? Well, then you need to handle that issue too, because you need to learn to be around people. So it's not the act of you not getting baptized that concerns me. It's what's going on in your heart that you need to overcome to get to where Jesus wants you to be.
Yeah, we have a celebration here during the baptisms.
Yeah,
it's wonderful. It's like everybody yelling and screaming, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
it is completely awesome. One of the praise and worship. One of the people that we talked with was talking about praise and worship being a show. Okay. Do you prefer hymns? Because we do that on Wednesday. You can come join us.
I like hymns, yeah.
Yeah, come join us on Wednesday at Ambassadors. We sing hymns.
Okay.
But I mean, when we're doing praise and worship, it is with everything that we have that we're giving it to the Lord.
Yep.
And I believe David did the same thing when he was dancing, and his wife didn't like that very much. But he was dancing before all the trumpets and the drums and everything coming in with the ark, and he was dancing, wasn't he? So, I mean, I think he had given the praise right. According to the Bible, God loved him enough that said that he was a man after his own heart. So, kind of going with that, I'll give my praise as much as I possibly can.
Oh, I'm getting a bunch of message requests. That's what I was like. What is this? Okay, so let's get to our guest. I believe he is a. Oh, here's this. Here's this atheist girl.
All right, I'm going to take off my atheist content creator. Mine was the first.
What are we doing?
It's funny. This girl, she's a deconstruction. This deconstruction girl right here.
Here, hold on.
Oh,
okay. Go ahead.
Did that word bother you? She's these. Okay, hold on. I want you to listen to one of her.
Mine was the first.
Hold on. Ready? I'm gonna let you listen to one of her videos.
Stay-at-home mom. All right, I'm going to take off my atheist content creator hat and put on my trauma-informed educator hat. This is an article from the Canadian Medical Journal, and it doesn't really...
No, hold on. I'm gonna do another one because she says she basically chips away at the character of God. She doesn't really talk about.
Wow, Satan's been trying to do that for you, lady.
She doesn't really.
It ain't working.
She doesn't really talk about. She doesn't talk about like whether God's like real or not. She talks about whether he's good or not. And then I saw this video today where she was this person was like, "Well, why do you use your platform to only talk about God's character? That's all you talk about. If you say you don't believe in God, that's all you talk about." And she goes, "Well, cuz it's my platform and I can do whatever the hell I want to with it." And I was like, "Oh, so when you do whatever the hell you want with what you create, it's okay, but when God does it, it's not." Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? It's kind of a double standard.
His rules, his game.
Yeah.
He's in control.
Hold on. It says,
and until you can create your own dirt and your own planet and your own solar system with your own oxygen, with your own people, without anything that God has already created, without any knowledge that God has already given you, I don't think you have much to say.
okay, hold on. It says this. Let's just listen to this one. This is one of her videos. Hold on.
Well, theologically speaking, it's not so much that we're saying that God has human emotions.
Okay, this comment says, "Why do you keep attributing God as having human emotions, reactions? If you do that, of course, he's going to seem like a DICK." And so now she's responding to this.
Emotions and reactions, as much as we're saying that humans have God emotions and reactions. After all, the doctrine states humans are made in God's image. Our thoughts and emotions are what separate us from the animals, and that is the part we get from God. But let's go with it. Let's say that you're right and we have no right to attribute human emotions or reactions to a God. We can't judge him based on what we as humans think and feel. In that case, awesome. Then stop telling me that God has the right to judge me. If God's emotions and reactions are that different from human emotions and reactions that we cannot compare ourselves to him, then he cannot compare himself to us. And he has no right to hold us to his standards. We aren't him. We don't think like him. We don't feel like him. We don't react like him. But if as a Christian you continue coming onto my page to tell me that I am a sinner, that I am on my way to hell, and that I need to repent to your God, I am going to continue telling you your God's a dick. If he gets to judge me by his standards, I get to judge him by mine. Well,
What a mess.
May I make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not. I'm going to be biting my nails the whole time, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear it.
The epitome of the verse that says, "Do not cast your pearls before the swine."
Yeah. Well, the reason why I would want to talk to her is because she literally has a PowerPoint put together that she does not believe in God, right? But she believes in order to get Christians to deconstruct from Christianity, then she's got to prove to people that God's moral character is bad in order for us to get to. So she has a strategy on to get to people not to believe in God. She thinks that Christianity's bad and she wants it to be abolished completely. She thinks it's bad for society, and she actively works on getting people to not believe in God. And she has like 300. Hold on, let me see. She has.
Do I care?
I do. She has like 250,000 followers. She has a 500,000 followers now. She has 484,000 followers. Yeah, I do care. Because it's working.
When you want to listen to somebody that tickles your ear and tells you exactly what you want to hear, and that you I'll leave it there.
I'm just saying. She
May I read a verse?
Yeah.
1 Corinthians 6:9. You all right?
What's going on here, dude?
Do you not know that the wicked will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived. Neither the sexually immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor male prostitutes, nor homosexual offenders, nor thieves, nor greedy, nor drunkards, nor slanderers, nor swindlers will inherit the kingdom of God. And that is what some of you were. But you were washed, you were sanctified, and you were justified in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ and by the Spirit of our God.
Is it weird that I was all those?
Hold on a minute. You were a male prostitute?
You know what's funny?
Because I had most of them down until I read that one. And I was like, yeah, no.
As soon as I saw you thinking, I was like, he's going to bring up male prostitute crap. And technically, I mean, I'm sure we could spin some things to say, yeah, I probably was.
Well, I tried. I was going to go that route.
But you ended up having to pay other people.
Yeah, no, I never. I'm just grateful that I didn't go that far down. But I mean,
yeah.
Nor was I homosexual.
Yeah, what a mess.
But everything else I got covered.
All right, let's try to call Darth Dean. He is, I believe, he is a Norse pagan.
Darth Dean.
Yep. So we're gonna talk to him and see what all's going on with him. Let's call him real quick.
Hello.
Is this Dean?
Hey man, what's going on?
What's
Sorry,
up?
I'm late.
Oh no, I think we were a little bit late. We were just now trying to call you. So how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Not too bad. So do you watch the show at all?
No, I don't think I have. I meant to.
It's okay. You won't offend us if you don't watch it. The only reason why I ask, I just wanted to, if you did, I wanted to save myself from describing how it goes, but it sounds like I'm going to have to. So, okay. So, first of all, I'm going to go around the room and introduce everybody that's in here. Okay. Today I have my two producers with me. I have Larry, not my co-host Larry. I have Larry Autry, who's one of our prayer warriors. He's in here. I have my beautiful wife, Angela.
Hello.
And then I have my my beautiful 6'4" Goliath co-host, handsome individual old man here, Larry.
Yeah, if I keep hanging around you, before long it'll be 6 foot.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're 6'5".
Yeah.
Huh?
How you doing, Dean?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Yeah, nice to meet you.
And then you got me, your host, Zach. And that's all. I just didn't want you to be surprised it was in the room. So this is not a debate show. We don't debate here. We just literally interview you, talk about your beliefs and stuff like that. And then at the end of the show, we will go around the room and say something in closing here in studio. And then since you are our guest, you will get the final word. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So, Dean, you are a Norse pagan, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you explain what that is to us?
So in Norse paganry, it can also be called like the heathen path.
Yep.
So around 1,000 years ago, people around Scandinavia and Norway, Denmark, northern Germany, all these people had a group of gods they worshipped: Odin, Thor, Freya. There's a lot of gods can't even name them off the top of my head.
Right.
And there's a big history between how they interact with the world, how they created it, and how it will end.
Right.
And as a pagan myself, it is kind of I wouldn't say duty, but it's really kind of a way of life, how we live and work within nature to help nature but also to live in honor of the gods.
Okay. Do you know Fro?
Know who?
Fro? Okay, you don't know. So we went on another Norse Pagans podcast. His name's Fro. He has a podcast called Two Pagans in a Pod, and him and Beard, Fro and Beard, they have a podcast, and we interviewed him, and he mentioned heathenry as well. So I didn't know. It's kind of like we just assume that all Norse pagans know each other. It's kind of one of those things. But okay. So what is your background? Did you grow up Christian? Did you grow up agnostic, atheist, or what happened in your past?
So, from around, I want to say 4 or 5 years old to around 12, I was part of the LDS church.
Okay, Mormon. Gotcha.
Yeah. And because that's what my mother had grown up in, that's what she believed. Still not sure what my dad believes. I think at one point he said he was Baptist.
Right.
And
hey, Dean, I'm so sorry to interrupt you real quick, but every time I talk, I'm getting some feedback. Am I on speaker or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any way we could fix that? I'm getting some feedback every time. I think we're better now.
Okay. Are we good?
Yeah. You actually sound better too. Okay. So you, wait, we're still getting it.
Okay. Let me go grab my AirPods.
Okay.
Hey, is that any better?
Let's see here. Yeah. I
don't hear anything in the background.
Okay, great. Okay. So you said, just to pick back off, you said that, oh no, we can hear it again. Can't we? Are we getting feedback again?
Have him talk again.
Can you talk again, Dean?
Yep.
Hello?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So you were saying that you have that you were in LDS from the time you were 4 years old to 12, right? And it's because your mom mainly did it
Primarily.
and take off from there again.
Okay, so when I reached 12 is kind of when I started thinking kind of individually. I started reading more books like the Quran, the Torah. I read the Satanic Bible for a little bit, and none of it really made sense to me. Like, I found no logical explanations in like anything. So from 12 years old to about a year ago, I was an atheist.
Oh, really? How old are you now?
I'm 24.
So how did your mom take that? When you were 12 years old, did you like openly come out and tell her that you didn't want to be a part of the LDS anymore, the Latter-day Saints Church anymore?
I didn't tell her until I was about 14.
What'd she say then?
She was pretty heartbroken, and she's started wondering, where did I go wrong and all that. I was like, Mom, it's nothing you did, nothing you said. It's just me trying to figure myself out.
Well, were you a little bit torn anyway between your mom being LDS and your dad being Baptist, I believe is what you said earlier?
Yeah, my dad wasn't really the church-going type, but I knew he believed in something.
So he didn't go to church with your mom?
My mom and my siblings.
Okay, say that again. You cut out. You said what now?
No, it was just me, my mom, and my siblings.
Okay,
gotcha.
Where's your dad at now?
I'm not sure. I haven't asked him. Whenever we see each other, it's mainly just talking about what we've been up to.
Gotcha. Okay. So you just kind of talk on the phone and stuff? Right on. Do you still talk to your mom?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Awesome. Does she know what you're doing now?
Yeah, she is, and she's pretty supportive.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice, man. Nice. What brought her to that? What brought her to make her be supportive of that? Like, what conversation took place to make her be that way? What'd she say?
I think it was mainly, I think she found some sort of personal growth. I don't think it was a conversation we ever had together, but I think she may have done some soul searching. She loves her kids more than anything, and I know that for sure.
Yeah.
And I think she knows, like, if I'm not hurting anyone or myself, that's okay with her.
I mean, the Norse pagans that I've met, they were super, super nice people. Fro and Beard are both just like genuinely wonderful and nice people. So I wouldn't, and I'm not saying like all Norse pagans are like that, because we all know that all Christians aren't the salt of the earth either, but great people. So yeah, I'm not doubting you there, but like, did you ever have any spiritual experiences whenever you were like with the Christian God or anything? Have you ever had any type of spiritual experience whatsoever with the Christian God?
I was 10. Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, when I was 10, I saw things I couldn't really explain, so I thought it was just God trying to move in my life.
Yeah. And now you don't think so?
I don't think he tried anymore, or maybe I just gave up.
Do you believe the Christian God exists?
Yeah, I'm an omnist.
Okay.
I believe like all the gods exist.
Okay. Do you believe the Christian God is good?
I think he has his moments.
Okay. Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Like, obviously, in creating everything, that was good.
Yeah.
But in some instances where he leaned towards destruction, I would say that was kind of bad.
Right.
Okay. Got a question for you.
Okay.
You just said that God, the one that we believe in, created all things, correct? And that was good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so does your God, Odin,
Yeah, Odin.
does he speak up to God?
I'm not really sure what's in the minds of the gods.
Good point.
It's not really my place to dig into their head.
What are you asking, Larry? You're asking if he answers to God. You're asking if Odin answers.
I was trying to figure out a way to word it
God?
properly, but yeah. So,
if I believe there's like a hierarchy between the gods.
yeah, there you go. Since you believe all gods exist, do you believe there's a hierarchy with the gods?
Yeah. Do you believe there, like, because we believe, like in the Bible, it says that Jesus is the name above all names, that he is the first, the last, he's the Alpha, the Omega. So we believe that that he is the number one, the beginning and the end. Do you believe there's a hierarchy like that in what you believe?
I would say I kind of like to picture in my head. It comes off a little funny, but all the gods sometimes get together in what looks like kind of like a boardroom meeting with like a really long table, and it's got like the projector screen in front, and some of the gods take turns deciding what goes what around on Earth. And I would say, yeah, probably Yahweh or Jesus is the president or CEO of the company.
Man, okay, that's crazy, man.
Wasn't that also taught in the LDS church?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not from what I was told or what I read.
All right. I've heard that. I can't remember if it's LDS or
What is
Mormon.
Jesus in Mormon? LDS is the same as Mormons.
It is.
Yeah.
So I've heard that part, that in that somehow they, and I don't even remember where I got it from, so, don't hold my feet to the fire, but
I wouldn't come near your feet, dude. Nowhere
Only because
near.
he hates feet.
So you offered to massage them, yet you said no,
never
right?
did.
No?
I won't massage my wife's feet, dude. Feet are gross, dude.
No, they're not. Different subject.
Okay.
Okay. Why did you bring that up? Okay. So, but I had heard this synopsis that you just mentioned through, and I think it was the LDS Church.
I think LDS believes that we can become gods too someday.
That part too.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like actually becoming, Yahweh tier gods. It's more of the 3 levels of heaven. Pretty sure it's the celestial, telestial, and there's one more below it. And so the higher ones can visit the lower ones, but the lower ones can't visit the higher ones. So like, it's kind of like trying to, I guess it would be advancing yourself in the company to, certain levels.
Yeah.
And you reap certain rewards in the afterlife.
Do you have a community that you like go like a church or something, or do you have a community online that you talk to about this stuff, or is it just kind of you?
Most, I want to say like 90% of pagans typically do individual practice.
Yeah.
There are some, I know of a couple of buddies of mine that I met on TikTok who are down in Florida right now trying to kind of build like a temple. I don't know how long that's going to take, but they're trying.
Gotcha.
Now, didn't the Norse religion kind of sort of die out in England or the European area in about 750 AD?
From, I want to say 780 to around the 1100s or the Viking Age is probably when it was starting to be wiped out. And, Scandinavia was being Christianized. Even pagans were turning Christian. Like the leaders of people were turning Christian, making alliances with the English Christians and basically trying to wipe out anyone. It was like see how much land and power they could grab, but using religion as a catalyst.
Yeah, now when you say 7 AD, I did not realize, so I'm not a history buff, but I did not realize at what point the men had migrated that far north toward Norway and Scandinavia area where the Norse pagans were most prominent.
This is where I get out. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know geography and stuff like that. I don't know nothing about that stuff. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, basically you just start from Germany and go up.
Yeah. Okay, stop and think. Hold on. Let me try to explain to Zach a little bit.
I'm going to go to sleep.
Do you know where Rome is?
Nope.
Do you know where Italy is?
Nope.
And that's the problem with the younger generation right there.
Why do I need to know where something is whenever I could just
when
go
you're talking,
there?
When you're talking about Paul in the Bible and he goes to Rome, or the Roman skilled Christians,
just
or
say
the
Paul
Christian,
went somewhere else,
or the fact that the Vatican is just outside of Rome.
Who cares about the Vatican?
Well, it's all part of the history of the Bible.
I don't care.
It helps you to know where they're going. Or where they're talking about being. So,
I don't care.
Yes, I'm sorry. I do know all my areas.
Yeah, good for you.
I know.
You want a cake bite?
Because did you Dean? Did you ever watch Conan the Barbarian?
Oh God, he brings this up every time we talk to a Norse pagan dude. He brings up Conan the Barbarian every time.
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Okay.
And every Norse pagan says
yes,
that.
Yes, I know, every one of them. But the thing that caught my attention when we first spoke with Fro was the fact that they were mentioning Odin, and Odin was
Odin,
and Odin was mentioned by Conan. Okay, because that was the god that he worshipped, and that's why it always stuck in my head, and I was a big Conan the Barbarian fan because acting sucked and the visual part was really great.
Man,
kind of sort of.
Also, don't be discouraged if you say Odin's name wrong. He has thousands of names, so Odin would probably be one.
All right, cool. Well, I can't remember. I don't have a photographic memory, therefore I cannot remember if it was spelled ODOM or ODEM.
It's Odin.
I didn't see that one
Yeah.
coming.
Gosh,
I
dude.
didn't see that one coming. All right.
So
But with your own declaration earlier, okay, that perhaps Yahweh or Jesus was the president of the quote unquote company of gods. My question would be, why would you follow a lesser god than the president of gods, the mightiest of the mighty?
So, I guess, is it okay if we keep going with the whole company analogy?
Sure.
I guess I applied for this company, right, which would be like religion, and I'm searching for something to believe in. Well, Odin, the Aesir, were the ones who picked up the phone and called to hire me.
Okay.
what he means is he wasn't really getting a response from the CEO of the company, and he did get a response from the general manager. That's what he's saying. So what he's saying is that he felt like he was reaching out to God, and he was trying to get a hold of God, but he said that Odin's the one that picked up the phone. Odin, the one that's answered whenever he talked to him. Am I right on that, Dean?
Yeah, just about, yeah.
Okay. Let me, we've discussed your age at 24, and my age is at a lot higher than that.
Just say it. Tell him how old you are.
My age is at 60. So I've had a little bit more.
You're 60 years young. You're fine.
No, really, I'm old. I have had a little bit more experience with corporations than perhaps you have. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Often in companies, the president doesn't reach out to you and talk to you. He sends his secretary or he sends his HR director to reach out to you and bring you on board.
Mm-hmm.
Personnel director, right? You kind of see where I'm going with that?
I don't at all, no.
I see where you're going.
You're talking about the Holy Spirit?
No, I'm talking about what he just said. He said the president of that particular company, organization, did not reach out to him, but Odin did.
It's Odin. If you say it wrong one more time, I'm coming across this table, dude.
Okay. All right, Bob didn't. Okay. God reached out, Bob didn't, or God didn't reach out, but Bob did.
I feel like
my point is
only old people say things wrong after being corrected multiple times.
When I get hired at a company, the personnel director reaches out to me, or the HR director reaches out to me. It is not the president of the company that reaches out to me. So in my concept, from the corporations that I've been hired by, I never have talked to a president.
But I think we could go directly to God and talk to him through the power of Jesus Christ. Though that's what I'm saying.
We're using an analogy
I have
he was
no
comfortable
clue
with.
what you're saying, though.
We were using the analogy that he set before me and asked if we could continue.
Well, who's the secretary in your analogy? That's what I'm confused about.
The secretary would be Odin. Did I say it right that time?
Yes, thank you. But
Okay.
I
Would that not be in yours, Dean?
I'm lost at what you're trying to say, Larry. What I'm saying is like.
So as far as I want to say as far as hierarchy goes, the top of each pantheon, Zeus, Odin, Kali, would be the CFOs, and then the lower ones would be your secretaries, your HRs, all of that.
So Jesus claims to be the only way to heaven. Do you ever think about that at all? I don't even know if you've heard that before, but that Jesus does claim to be the only way to heaven. Does that give you a thought at all? Does that concern you?
Not really. Since in my omnist beliefs, if there are all the gods, there are all the afterlives. So yes, Jesus is the only way to the Christian heaven.
But what's the heaven? Is it Valhalla? Is not heaven, right? Is not the heaven for you?
So in the afterlife, with the gods, there are many halls. Many desire Valhalla because it's been popularized and fantasized in media and all that. And they get the descriptions right. You fight and you die every day. And at night you are resurrected to feast and drink and fraternize all night and do it the next day. That's not really my idea of an afterlife. Plus, it's pretty hard to get to Valhalla. So
You don't
my
sound like a
probable
partier.
ending,
You don't sound like a partier anyway.
no, those days are done.
Okay.
If I was 18, 19, I would have been all for it.
Yeah, me and Larry are both like, you stopped way earlier than we did. Way earlier. Larry stopped like 5 years ago.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm 24 and I already want a piece of land in the middle of nowhere, just me, my wife, my kid.
You have a
living
wife?
peaceful life. Yes, I do have a wife.
Wonderful, man. And your kid, how old is he or she?
She's almost 2.
Oh, that's wonderful, man. That's cool. So what's your plans for just like a religion in your family? Is your wife Norse pagan as well, or is she just kind of chilling, or like what's up with that situation?
She is just now following the heathen path. I want to say like she started a couple weeks ago, and I started a year ago, so we're both new.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So we're both kind of just trekking this together. And as far as my daughter is concerned, she won't hear anything of it unless she asks.
Okay, so you guys are
Like
gonna
if she wants
keep
to
it.
ask about religion,
You're gonna keep it private from her unless she asks. Did we lose him?
we can lay them all out on the floor, be like, this is their history, this is what they believe, and everything that comes after, what they think at the beginning was, and kind of a non-biased education on religion.
Gotcha. So you won't even be biased towards your own then, huh?
No,
It'd be hard not to.
I'm not really. It is pretty hard not to,
Yeah.
because I see the gods everywhere in my life. But, not teaching that to her it's a bit of a struggle, because, Christians want to bring their kids to church and learn of, God and what he did. But at the same time, I want her to make her own decisions.
So you have spiritual experiences with your gods right now?
Yeah, Freyr, he's with me every day. He's in the green grass and the trees and the wildlife around me.
Okay. What's the most intense like spiritual experience you've had since you've started this heathen path?
Oh, that would be day one. Is what brought me into it. It was a violent, alcohol-induced vision of a Valkyrie coming to take my soul to Valhalla.
Okay. You were drunk?
And, yeah, I was very, very drunk, blackout almost. And, Valkyries in our mythology are the ones who take our souls away from our bodies to the afterlife. And that means I'm about to die. And I kind of like scared myself awake. I was like, that was not what I expected. I'm going to read and learn. And I think it was about 2 weeks of researching and following my feelings before I kind of called myself a Norse pagan.
Gotcha.
Where does the Valkyrie take your soul?
Valhalla.
That's heaven, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, he just explained what it was. He explained what it was. Were you listening?
Yeah, but okay. What did they call the other place?
It's not really. It's like so. It's there is no like two. Valhalla's it, right? Valhalla's it, right?
No. So Valhalla is in Asgard. the realm of the gods, the Aesir. And in Asgard, there are many halls of the gods. Like Balder has his own hall, Freya has her hall, Odin has his, which is Valhalla. But it's hard to get in there because Freya, she actually gets first pick of the warriors who pass away. So you have to be a very skilled warrior, but you also have to die in battle. And Freya still gets first pick.
So
And
where
if
do
you get picked
go
by
when you
Freya-
die? So where do you go when you die?
If you live like an unremarkable life,
An unremarkable? Yeah, like she's asking, where do you go? Like, where do you believe you're going when you die?
I would be going to Helheim.
Okay, what's that?
So Loki's daughter Hel rules over this place, and there's kind of two sides to it. If you're an especially really bad person, murder, raping, all that, you will go to the dark side of Helheim. There's like a dark shore, and there's a beast who like feasts on your corpse there. But if you're like a normal average Joe, you're going to be, living in far green pastures, drinking and eating and tilling earth, peacefully until Ragnarok.
What's that? What's Ragnarok?
The end of the world, or all 9 worlds.
And then everybody just goes into nothing forever?
No. So Asgard is leveled, Midgard is in pieces, Midgard is earth. And Balder comes up from Helheim and begins a new paradise.
Okay.
There's a whole reason why Balder's in Helheim right now.
So a new paradise on Earth, essentially, right?
Yeah, he's gonna, make Asgard greater. He's gonna make Midgard greater. All the 9 realms in blissful paradise.
Okay, I'm gonna read what I googled Helheim, by the way. By the way, that's what Fro believes in the goddess Hel as well. And this is where he believes he's going as well. This is what Fro does. Fro told us the same thing. It says the realm of the dead, in the location that those who die a dishonorable death are forced to tread through the icy lands where no fire can live. It is comprised of a preliminary area and path from Tyre's temple to the bridge of the damned, from which no one can return. So, are you aware of what Christians believe happens after the end of the world?
I would say I could probably elaborate just a little bit. I don't know, like verse for verse from the Bible, how it goes.
So we believe, you just tell me if this is right or not. We believe that there's going to be, at the end of the world, we believe that there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth, and then hell's going to be obviously a terrible place where no one can return from. We believe that once you're there, you're there. It's going to be everlasting torment. And then we also believe in heaven, which is going to be on earth, but God's going to create a new earth and a new heaven. And it's going to descend on earth. So it's like eerily similar. Does that make sense? Like, it is vastly different, but it has a similar concept to what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's weird how these religions, they all kind of circle around the same thing. They just twist it a little bit.
Now, is this all spiritual, or do you get to keep your body?
No one gets to keep their body.
Okay, so the body still stays, even in Norse paganism, your body still stays in the grave, basically.
Yeah, the body's in the ground, the spirit is carried off to the halls of the gods.
Did it take you some time to get over, because I know you were taught about hell and stuff like that in the LDS church. Did it take you some time to get over the fear and stuff like that?
Yeah, deconstruction was a quite literal pain.
Really? It was a process for you?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah. What's up?
Norse paganism is also what the Vikings believed in, right?
Yes.
That's what I remember. Okay. Is that why they?
Yeah,
Is that why they used to send the body out on a little bitty boat and then send an arrow down and burn the body up so that it removed the spirit faster?
So those kinds of funerals were meant for important and or rich men. So like if
Okay.
you found the cure for cancer, right? That would be an extraordinary thing to do, especially if you did it out of the goodness of your heart and not for financial gain.
Okay.
After you die, you would be worthy of such a grand ceremony like that. Because it wasn't just like putting your body on a pyre and then the pyre is put on a boat. There will be treasures and belongings of yours, but also sacrifices for the gods or offerings in there with you when they, send it out and light it up. But then after that, there would be like a huge party. Like people would be drinking and loving and all this. It'd be like a grand old time. In these modern times, there'd probably be fireworks and stuff too.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Dude, that's the way I want to go out, man. I mean, I don't want to have like a Norse like, but I want like fireworks on a little
Sure.
wooden boat.
Are you sure?
What? Sure what?
I'll give you a boat, put your body in it, shoot an arrow out there.
No, I want fireworks on
burn-
it too.
let it burn
I want
the
it to
body?
be at night. First of all, it would take you 3 hours to hit it with a burning arrow, dude.
Actually, I'm not bad in archery.
You'd be like, my back hurts, and you'd quit.
Yeah, probably. But it'd only take me one arrow.
No.
Yes, no, it would.
You'd have to swim out and get it and light it back on fire a bunch of times.
Like I went to the men's retreat. We did some arrow stuff. So I grew up with a bow and arrow. You know that, right?
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Dude, I want some like
Sleep?
crazy.
Well, I think it's legal to do it as long as your body hasn't been embalmed or any like chemicals have been put into your body to like do it. Because if you burn a body that's been embalmed, it's extremely harmful for the environment.
Well, and the chemicals will leak out too, probably, and it's probably not good. I would do it. I would do it, dude.
I'm just kidding you. I plan on being cremated anyway.
Well, that's a good way to. It's a fun way to be cremated, dude.
Yeah, but there is certain things you have to do legally. I was only making fun of you personally.
So Dean, do you ever see yourself like? Is there a possibility that you would entertain a relationship with Jesus, or is this like this is your path now? You've got it set.
I would say this is my path until it changes.
Yeah.
Because as far as my beliefs go, my path is already set. I just don't know what's down the road.
Yeah. That's the one thing about Norse pagans that I've talked to is almost all you guys are kind of like open to an experience with the Christ, you know? Like you guys aren't completely closed-minded. You're like, this is where I'm at right now, you know, and I'm cool and I'm comfortable where I'm at, but I don't know what the future is going to hold, you know? It's almost like you guys all have the same kind of like same attitude and demeanor and aura about you.
Hey, have you ever heard of the rapture?
Yeah, I think I've heard it quite a few times in my childhood. I never really researched it.
Okay, I didn't know if LDS talked about the rapture at all. I'm not familiar with the LDS.
I think it had something to do with like the dead rising and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question. Since you have that knowledge and you don't believe basically in it because you're believing in, I guess, Norse paganism, do they have anything along the lines of a rapture since they've shadowed most everything else?
They had something similar to that in Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok translates to Twilight of the Gods, where like Odin, Thor, a lot of the Aesir and the Vanir will die.
Okay, can you spell that for me?
Ragnarok.
I've actually seen this word. Okay. I've seen the word. I don't know what about, but I've seen the word anyway. So that's sort of kind
Probably
of.
from the movie
Which one?
Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh,
the
there's
Marvel
a movie called
movie.
Ragnarok?
No, Thor Ragnarok. The movie Thor.
With Helmsley?
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least
Yeah.
I've seen a little bit about Thor then.
Yeah. Thor is Odin's son.
I thought it was Zeus' son.
No, we've went over this, dude.
Okay, man.
Good grief.
No, Heracles is Zeus's son.
Hercules.
But he said Heracles.
It's Hercules is the Roman version. Heracles is the Greek version.
Lord have mercy.
We've learned a new whatchamacallit there. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he was named after Hera to basically insult her.
Okay, so with this knowledge, if the rapture happened, which one would you think it was? Would you think it was the rapture or Ragnarok?
Well, there are signs for Ragnarok, and I'd have to see them before I see any.
Okay, so
What's the sign?
What's the signs?
So there's the first sign was Balder died, which happened. So there's that, and then there's
What is that?
Fimbulwinter.
Look, you're trying to teach an old man something that's completely foreign to my thought process. So
Did you say Balder died? Because I haven't died yet. Get it? I'm bald. I'm going bald. Did you say Balder died though?
Yes, Balder is in Helheim right now.
Oh, the death of Balder. Balder. Okay. Okay, so that's one thing that happened. What else?
When was that? When did he die?
That's also a long story.
Okay, what
So-
else? What else has to happen now? What else?
There will be 3 long and terrible winters and 3 summers of black sun. And then Fenrir will break free from his invisible chains. And Loki and his horde of the undead will ride out of Helheim. And the giants of Jotunheim will join him to attack Asgard. Odin and his many warriors, along with Freya, Heimdall, they will all, move to fight the giants on the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge from Midgard to Asgard.
Dude.
And also in that time, Surt, the fire giant, will scorch the earth, killing almost everything. Jormungandr, the world serpent, will flood it.
Well, that's where I'm like, man, this sounds like the book of Revelation. It's talking about something that something's going to be released from the chains, that there's a beast that's chained to the bottom of the river of Euphrates that's let go, right? And then it talks about people coming out of horses from the bottom of the pit, right? Which that is talked about in the Battle of Armageddon, with the horses with smoke coming out of their nostrils and stuff like that. I mean, this is all like
Angels of the Four Winds.
now the flood is that's the one thing that I heard in there that there's no similarities in, because God promised there'd never be a flood again. It's just there's a lot of similarities in the end times, it sounds like, and this is all stuff that we didn't talk with Fro, so it's kind of shocking me that there's all similarities in the book of Revelation. Did you know that? That's crazy.
Yeah, in the Christian lives I've been around, scrolling through TikTok and all that, when they talk about the end times, I hear a lot of similarities between many different faiths.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how there's a lot of similarities in what we all believe. It's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
the world will end in fire, and there'll be lots of death and destruction.
Yeah. Well, we believe there's going to be horses of the apocalypse, right? And all of them are different colors. Like the red ones war, right? And then the green one is infirmities, and each one's going to be allowed to take out 1/3 of the Earth's population. And
then
so
the Pale Rider of Death.
Yep. And then the white horse is Jesus, right? I think something like that.
That's Armageddon.
But yeah, it's all quite a bit of similarities. It's kind of crazy, man. But man, I'm glad you're having. So would you say you're feeling at peace right now? Like you have more peace than you've ever had in your life, or is there still something missing?
I'm very much at peace with the gods.
Yeah. Is there something you do every day, like a ritual or some sort of routine that you do inside Norse paganism every day?
So because of, 1,000 years ago when the pagans were almost eradicated and went into hiding, much of like any, I guess, evidence or, any type of personal ritual was lost. So in our times right now, there's no right or wrong way to give an offering to the gods or to speak to them.
Okay. So if you do or you don't, then there's just no pressure.
Yeah, it's important to work with the gods often because it's a relationship. You can't just do a ritual 1 week and then 4 months go by and then come back and expect to get the same conversation.
Gotcha. Okay, so I heard you say something there, and I want to ask you. I heard a terminology you use, and I've heard different pagans say it different ways. I heard you say work with. Now, most pagans I hear, they believe they're teaming with the gods. They're not serving the gods. They're not under the gods. And then I talked to Fro, and he was like, no, they're gods. I serve them. I'm under them. Like I worship them as gods. Do you worship them as gods, or do you view your more like a partnership with them?
It's kind of both for me, where yes, I recognize they're gods. They are, my rulers. But at the same time, in working with them, I have found mutual beneficiation for both of us. I give them an offering and they speak to me about, it depends on the god. If I want to talk to Freya, I ask for, how can I be compassionate in this time, or Odin, teach me to be wise.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
but you always have that respect and that reverence with them.
Are they above? Would you say they're above you though?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, we're going to go around the room and do the rounds. We're sitting at a 123. So, Angela, you got something to say?
Actually, I do. So in the beginning, you said when you were younger that you believed that God was trying to communicate with you, or basically he was working with you. So, and then you said you changed. So how do you know that wasn't God trying to change you and work through you when you changed and you didn't give him the opportunity to do that? Do you think you would be different if you would have given him the opportunity just to continue for you to follow him?
Oh yeah, I think much would be different if I had continued to persist in a relationship with God. But, being 12 years old, you think you know everything, that kind of almost teenager vibe.
Yeah.
And then I guess it kind of just continued into my adult life.
Okay. Gotcha. Larry?
I was trying to go through, I've enjoyed my conversation with you, Dean. I'm trying to learn a little bit, but can I read a verse right out of the Bible and maybe you can see the similarities between what we've been discussing and what the Bible actually says? That'd be all right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go for it.
Revelations 21, verse 1. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. And they will be his people, and God himself will be with them and their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things have passed away. Do you see the similarities there?
Yeah, I see a few.
Well, in verse 6 it says, he said to me, it is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To him who is thirsty I will give to drink without cost from the spring of water of life. He who overcomes will inherit all this, and I will be his God, and he will be my son. I'd like to leave that with you, just to give you some food for thought.
There you go. Okay, you're done with yours? Okay, I'll say mine. Dean, thanks for coming on. Oh, where'd you see us, by the way? Where did we meet again? Was it in the Bible study?
Yeah, it was the live on TikTok.
Heck yeah, man. First of all, thank you. I really enjoy your demeanor, and I enjoy your willingness to come in and talk to us. And I like your energy, man. I think you're a really cool guy. I wish nothing but the best for you and your family going forward. The one thing that I would say is that I do believe that there is a end all be all, a creator, a name above all names. And I do believe it's Jesus. And I think he does want a relationship with you. And I think you actually can reach out to him. And I'm not saying this to do this, to like cheat on your gods, and I don't even care if you even talk to me ever again. I mean, I'd love to, right? But I don't, if something happens and you end up talking to Jesus and having a relationship with him, I don't have to know about it. I'm just saying that like how I personally did it is, I started talking to Jesus in my bathroom and nobody knew about it. Not even my wife or my kids or nobody. It was extremely personal and quiet, but I do believe that you can go directly to him, even though he is the name of all above all names, and he is the king of the hierarchy. I believe you can go directly to him right now. But yeah, man, thank you so much for coming on. It really does mean a lot to us that people that believe in different things, that we can come together and have a respectful conversation. We can laugh, we can love each other. It genuinely makes me happy to see a young man that has started a family, because I remember whenever I was first starting a family like you, and you have a 2-year-old daughter, and I love those times, man. Cherish it. It goes by too fast. So thank you, Dean, and the floor is yours, brother.
Thanks for having me. I too love the energy in here, and I just hope that Yahweh blesses your lives like the gods have done for mine, and with my family and our house and everything that is going right in my life. Hope the same happens for all of you.
Okay, was that it?
Yeah.
Okay, brother. Thank you so much. Your episode will come out. This is pre-recorded, by the way. It'll come out next Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central.
Okay.
Okay, brother. I'll be in touch with you, okay? I'll see you soon, Dean.
All right. See you.
All right, bye. Well, what'd you think about old Dean? Larry Bear?
Laid
Larry
back. Yeah, I don't like that. You know that.
Larry Bear, huh?
Yeah. I mean, he seemed to be a nice little kid.
Yeah. Why'd you put the little in there? That was extremely disrespectful that you did that.
Was it?
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, I meant little in age. I wasn't talking about a stature.
Yeah, like a little kid. You did a little head shake there.
To me.
Now, what are you doing with your shoulders now? Like, What's going on here, man? What's happening here, dude? Are you getting wound up?
No, I'm just trying to be.
I'm getting out of here, dude, before this gets crazy.
No, I mean, listen to the similarities.
Yeah, really, it was kind
And
of
that's
creepy.
the dangerous part of any of the religions out there is the similarities, even the differences between Islam and Judaism.
You're purposely saying these names wrong.
I don't care.
You said Islam.
What is it?
It's Islam.
Okay. Well, hey, what can I say?
Yeah, you said Islam. That's
So,
hilarious.
but I mean, even the similarities there, and I'm trying to get a little bit more information so that I have at least a little bit of a leg to stand on when I'm talking to these people.
Yeah.
And I say these people of anybody who don't believe the same way that I do, period.
Well, that's what I feel like we are in that stage right now to where we're like getting to know.
Well, I'm getting to know, but at the same time, I am refusing to let it be part of me. So if I get stuff
Yeah.
wrong, so be it.
Right.
I'm not going to become
An expert in Norse
Scholar.
mythology. Yeah.
on opposite religions of
If we're
Christianity.
if we're still doing this in 10 years, it wouldn't be silly to think that we wouldn't be pretty well versed in it, though. You know what I mean?
But would we let them
This
talk?
this is
Asking
done.
the same questions and getting similar answers and not the same answers. Have you noticed that any
Yeah.
time that we've talked to this particular class of people,
Yeah.
and then the next time we talk to that particular class of people, there
Different.
are differences in their opinions.
That was pretty close to Fro, though. Pretty
yeah,
close.
and
Pretty
I
close.
can agree.
I mean, in their
To me-
defense, though, we could interview Christians every week, and we would get completely different responses out of them too.
Different denominations.
Once saved, always saved. That
Please don't start
works-based,
that discussion with me.
works-based gospel. No, we're not talking about that on here.
Sorry, Philip.
Whether
I won't discuss it anymore.
whether baptized, whether you have to be baptized, all that stuff, man. There's just so many different beliefs, man. There's so many different beliefs. So it's the same. It's the same thing. We're all humans, man. Like we all think we're right about stuff, and that's why I refuse to take stances on anything unless I'm sure. It's hard to be sure on much of anything other than the fact that Jesus came down and saved us of our sins. Thank God.
Definitely, our sins were paid for by Christ, and through His blood is the only way that we
Yeah.
can even share righteousness with Him.
And then other
because
than
none
that,
of us are righteous without the blood of Christ.
other than that, it's like, man, I just feel like we should probably stop picking on each other.
Well, how do
about
you
that.
get forgiven?
How do you get forgiven?
Yeah, how do you get forgiven?
By the blood of Jesus.
But how?
By giving your life to Jesus.
But how?
Submitting your
Repenting.
life to Jesus.
But how?
For repenting, right?
Praying and opening your heart and repenting to the thing.
I'm trying to get y'all to go. Come on. There's a particular way of doing this.
I'm gonna throw this Coke can at you if you don't just tell me.
You speak it.
Oh yeah, you.
Oh, it
speak-
speaks out of
You
your
Into
mouth.
ask for
existence.
You ask for
Yeah.
forgiveness. You speak and you ask
You have to
for
confess
forgiveness.
with your mouth. Yeah.
Confess with your mouth
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
that Christ is Lord, that through His blood you are made clean, and
Yep.
and that you believe in Christ, that He came and died for you.
Yep.
It's not hard.
Yeah. No, it's not. Mm-mm.
When the hard part becomes when you're trying to remember all the rules and regulations, remember this and remember that and remember this and oh no, I've got to get cleaned before I come to the Lord. I got to quit smoking. I got to quit drinking. Wrong.
Yeah.
We all believe, but we can't make ourselves clean. But we actually think that we have to make ourselves clean before we come to the Lord. No, we come to the Lord, the worldly things will follow off of us. The more that we follow God, the more that we make Him the directive in our life, the more that we focus our attention on Him, the more that we seek God first.
Yeah.
Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom and His righteousness, and then all these things will be added to you. All these things are the gifts of the Holy Spirit, the peace that I live in. And yes, most of the time I'm pretty peaceful until you aggravate me.
which is constantly
but here's
now,
the thing.
because he's cantankerous.
But here's the thing. I am 1/10 of what I used to be. I mean, I don't even think I'm 1/10 anymore. I used to walk around in anger all the time. And now I get up in the morning and I put on my shoes of peace. Why do I put on my shoes of peace? Because it's part of the armor of God. And that peace keeps me on that track. So when I step off and I start feeling angry, I'm instantly right then. I may not say it out loud because I may not be in the right situation for that, but I'll be going in my heart, Lord, guide me back to the peace.
Are you like, oh no,
Lord, guide me back to the peace.
Like,
I feel the anger coming on. I feel the fire getting ready to burn, Lord. I need to stay in the lane of peace.
Are you like, oh no, one of my peace shoes came untied?
Yeah. I look
then
down.
you have to tie
I
them
look
back.
down, make sure. I got to make sure I'm not tripping on my laces.
I want to say something that the last two Norse pagan, well, they say like we've only interviewed two Norse pagans, right? Which is Fro and him, and they both had a similarity of where they both said that they were reaching out to God, Jesus, and that they didn't get what they were expecting, right? And I'm paraphrasing here. And I got to thinking like what whenever because I used to pray all the time to God. And I didn't get a whole lot out of him until I was like in my 20s. And I started thinking like, well, why didn't that bother me? Why didn't that bother me? And well, I grew up Baptist, right? And I didn't even know that God could talk back to you. I didn't even know you could hear him until it happened, like until I was in my 20s. I was like, I thought it was that you just prayed to him because like, I went to church my whole life too. And I thought you just prayed to God and that was it. There wasn't nothing coming back. Like, that's what I thought, man. I mean, I'm not saying that's what Baptist teaches. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not cranking on the Baptist church, but there wasn't a whole lot like God told me this and God told me that. There wasn't a whole lot of those examples. I literally thought I talk to you and then you receive it and then whatever happens, happens, you know? And so like, I guess that's why that didn't bother me. Like I never put a whole lot of thought into, why is God not talking to me and stuff? But then he started doing it and then he started talking to me and I go, oh, like, this is a two-way communication where he decides when he's going to talk to you, when he's not. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. And then it's like, and then now I realize that God can almost talk to you. He's like trying to guide your life consistently and constantly, and he's constantly talking to you. And whether you hear him or not is on you. Right?
That's a great point because, I mean, I grew up Pentecostal and I grew up, God talks back. You know, God talked to my mom for sure because I got in trouble over stuff I was doing by myself and nobody around, nobody to be able to see me. And my mom knew exactly what I did. Wow. Because God had told her.
Yeah.
So I got, I thought God was a tattleteller. My mom, technically, I've said this. My mom had a telephone line to God's ear. What's my son doing now? What's my daughter doing now? I mean, what's my sister doing now? That's how my mom was. And mom stayed in complete communication with him. So I guess that makes it a lot easier for me to grasp that concept.
Yeah.
I never heard it so much, I felt it a lot, but I didn't really hear it. Yeah. But I want you to stop and let me put this analogy in. If you've got your music blasting and I walk in and try to talk to you, can you hear me?
You definitely couldn't, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, the louder that the world is in your life, the louder that your thought process is, that your worries are, that your concerns are, that you focused on, the smaller his voice is.
Yeah. When
you are engaged in a conversation with him completely and he's got 100% of your attention, Zach, you can hear him.
I noticed something today, actually. And I've gathered what it was, right? Because God kind of stopped talking to me for a little bit, right? You remember how I used to come in every week and be like, God said this, God said that, God said this, God said that, right? Well, a couple weeks ago, God would really start to guide me on little tiny things he wanted me to do, right? And I was just so stressed out and I would just be like, no, the reason why God stopped talking to me because I wasn't ready to be obedient in those little things. And God's like, we're not going anywhere until you can learn how to obey here, obey here, obey here, obey here. Like he's trying to teach me how to be obedient in those things. And then today I hit a spot where I prayed. I was like, okay, let's go. Then he started telling me little things. I mean, little things like take your gum out and put it in the trash. Take your glasses off when you're praying with me. Stuff like that. And I'd be like, that's not really. You know my voice. You know my voice. You know. And that's what I hear. You know my voice. And it's like he's trying to train me to do these little tiny things. That way I can listen in all things. But I get so exhausted and beside myself where I just get so tired of, like, it's weird. I want to be told what to do, but then when I start getting told what to do, I don't like it as much. These little things, it's almost like tiring. Like there's something weird inside me that doesn't want to obey, that automatically wants to be rebellious, even in those little things. And so if you're not ready to fully submit to God, you probably won't hear him, because you've got to be willing to hear him and the stuff that you don't want to do.
You have an option to turn up his volume.
Yeah.
And the closer you are, the easier it is to hear him.
You don't need no burning bush anymore.
I asked Darcia this probably a month or so ago, and I was kind of shocked by her answer, but I was there as well, and I was like, why do I not hear her? I mean, Zach's talking about hearing the voice, and Larry talks about hearing the voice, and the pastor talks about hearing the voice, and I hear very little, and I kind of got it pointed out to me that when we're walking, Darcy and I, when we're walking, if she needs me to steer away from something, she bumps me. When I need her to steer away from something, I bump her. I don't have to talk to her. I can lead her. So at times I don't need to hear. My mission is what God wants me to do. Yeah. He just bumps me the direction I need to go. He just places the person in front of me because he knows that I'm going to say something.
To me, it would be almost more complimentary if I knew I was a servant, an obedient servant to Christ, and I heard from God less than some other random kid that I know does a bunch of, if I did, I'd take it more as a compliment if I were you, because you don't need to hear from it as much as I do.
Well, I can kind of go back to my mom.
Or again. A different way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could go back with my mom on that.
But like you said, God kind of pinballs you, in which he directs you differently than what he does me. Doesn't mean I'm more special, because we know God doesn't. It doesn't mean.
Well, if I took my relationship with my mom and I used my brother, my brother who passed away, we used his relationship with my mom. My mom yelled at him a lot more than she yelled at me.
Yeah.
Because I knew my brother was adopted. I was brought up in the way. So, my mom didn't have to explain to me why I was getting ready to get a whipping. I already knew why I was getting ready to get a whipping. She didn't need to yell and scream at me. She could just go get me a tree limb.
I'm totally different with and how I raised both of my girls too. I'm totally different. Like Keegan, my oldest, she needs more of that, like, aggressive, like, you need it, like, more of that, like, hands-on, like, you need to be punished for this, you need to do this, like if she starts slipping below a B, I will reduce her screen time on her phone, and because she hates that. I know what she hates and stuff like that, but she's like this confident individual, and so I'm able to be a little more in your face with the guidance, right? Well, Kinsley's a little more soft. She's a little less confident and stuff like that. And the last thing I want to do is ruin her confidence. And so I'm hardly ever very light-handed with her, because I want her to be a confident. Well, except for the other day, now that she's getting to where because I've handled her this way, she's getting to where she's like a little overconfident, and I had to snap her back into reality the other day. But
yeah, my oldest one was my first one. You don't know anything about kids when you have that first one. And I did a lot of yelling back then. Get on to her for this, get on to her for that, yelling and screaming. And the second one, if I looked at her stern, she started crying. So it was like totally different kids. Nowadays, the oldest one would cry first before the second one would cry.
Can I ask you a question?
They're in their late 30s.
Can I ask you a question? Have you thought about reaching out to your daughter that you don't talk to anymore and telling her that because of what we do now? Have you thought about just sending her a message, say, I love you, even if you don't believe in my
Her
God?
older sister has reached out a couple of times. We just had a tornado come through here not too long ago. That's why your business is booming, right? You know, and that particular night, I had to go through a series of talks with certain people to be able to get a message to her to make sure that she was watching the weather. And I know that she's terrified of the weather because the May 3rd tornado back then, like barely missed her house.
You don't have a direct line to her, or she just doesn't see it?
She will not answer the phone from me.
But she could see it, right?
No. She's cut me out of the face. What is it?
Facebook?
Facebook. Yeah, that thing.
Act like that's your favorite place to be, bro.
Yeah, but I lost the word.
Okay.
But I have actually seen her older sister, okay, my bonus daughter, actually has checked us out.
What do you mean?
Well, apparently,
we
have a lot of reels out there on Facebook and whatnot.
Yeah,
and so her and my oldest daughter still talk.
Does it kill you that you can't talk to her?
Mm-hmm. But do I dwell on that, or do I dwell on Christ?
Yeah, no, I'm just...
Seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you.
Have you thought about, do you love her anyway, even if she doesn't believe in God?
I never didn't love her.
Yeah.
She just can't be more stubborn than me. And I'm not saying that I send her a happy birthday, but, nothing comes back. I've sent a couple of letters. Nothing comes back. I mean, they still live in the same house. So
I'm sorry
I know the address and all that. But, no, this has been a couple of years now. Yeah. It was right after I had my back surgery.
Is it from religion? Is that what it's causing it?
Yes, and that I'm not openly accepting the lifestyle that she's chosen. Yeah. And it's not that I don't preach to her. I learned from my mom, okay? And my mom didn't say every time she saw me, that's wrong. That's wrong. I haven't done that. I agreed with one daughter on a statement, and that daughter blew a gasket. Can't agree with both of them. My thought is this one was right.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, she's of the woke age group.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other two are...
But it's like
older.
It's like the same concept, right? Like, for example, if one of my daughters... I hope this never happens. I really do. I don't care if I hope this never happens. But if one of my daughters grew up to be something that is contradictory towards the Christian religion, right? I wouldn't need to tell her that it was wrong. She knows what I think.
Well, you got to understand the example that I set. First off, I've shared numerous times that I was an extremely asinine dad. Narcissistic.
Are you having a stroke today?
Yeah,
Larry?
I pretty much am. Narcissistic. I was more concerned about myself than what anybody else gave a crap on.
Yeah.
Okay. And if my kid didn't want to follow me, so what? But you got to understand also, I have drank with all of my kids. That was part of my lifestyle back then.
Yeah.
I didn't give it to them before they were 21, and I wouldn't allow them to enter a bar before they were 21. But once they become 21, you want to come drink with Dad? Go. We partied.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah.
When I quit partying was the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Dad's changing. What's going on here?
Well, we started to feel like, not from our kids or anything, because our kids were really happy about it, but like from other people that we started getting the cold shoulder. I get it.
Well,
yeah. Oh, you think you're better than me now? We're like, no.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I've heard all of that. Her mom didn't want her being forced to go to church at 7.
Yeah.
Well, yet her attorney made sure I knew that I was supposed to follow all the rules and regulations, which meant that she was connected to me the whole time she was there for the weekend, and I had started going to church at that particular time. After that divorce, I fell much more into the other part of it, and my daughter got offended by me having to put a particular dog down, which was what the advice I had been given at that time. It was required of this particular breed to have a death certificate to prove that the dog had been put down. So I had to have that legally. I didn't want to. I will never own another dog because of this.
Yeah.
But there was 2 years that my daughter wouldn't talk to me because of that.
I mean, it's just normal stuff.
No, she didn't want to go to church. She didn't want to come around me. Her mom wanted to try to order me around, and that don't go well anyway, and I wasn't walking with the Lord.
Yeah.
When I got an opportunity to meet back with her, I mean, man, we hung out all the time. We went all over this state together in the Jeep with the top down, you know? I mean, all of us, we all got along.
Yeah.
We had a great relationship.
You said it's been 2 years now. That's nothing?
Nothing.
Yeah.
2 birthdays. And past 2 birthdays for her.
Yeah. Okay.
And I send her, I love her. I can't not love her. That's my baby.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the best at being a parent. I'm not the best at being a grandparent.
No. Yeah. I understand.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
bad at it.
Well, that's why I said, like, that's why I kind of eased up on my parents a little bit.
Yeah, you learn when you
Yeah.
start making mistakes with your kids.
Well, I got and I was like, this is impossible, bro.
you know,
Like,
but after mom passed and I started my relationship with my dad, that God actually put us together, and I was able to get forgiven and be forgiven, because it's extremely important in your life that you forgive so God can forgive.
and then forgive yourself
And
too.
yeah,
though.
but that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Is, you know, at first I was like, when God said, you need to ask your dad for forgiveness, I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't do anything wrong. You know,
I did the same thing.
my
dude.
dad left.
That's
I
a-
didn't do anything wrong.
I told you that I called my dad hoping for an apology from him, and then I ended up apologizing, and I was like, what?
Yeah, no, God told me I had to, and I argued with God about it. And I'm like, I think you got it wrong. Well, God can't get anything wrong.
Yeah.
So, but when I called and I asked, then God started revealing to me why that was important. Listen, my daughter, who is 29 years old, 28, 29 years old, will not, she'll be 29 this year. She will not ever meet my dad because she didn't know him when she was little. And whose fault is that? That's mine.
Yeah.
Because I had not been in his life at that time that she was born. When the girls were little, they kind of knew my dad a little bit, like a little bit. They were very small when my dad left. And let's see. Yeah, they were probably within 3 or 4 years old. So now the second one, believe it or not, my ex-wife, their mom, had ties with my dad. So my youngest one, which lived with my wife, actually knew dad. Went and visited him and his other wife in Florida and all that.
Nice.
The oldest one was my mom oriented. She stayed around my mom. My mom raised her from about the time she was 12 up.
Huh.
So, you know, she didn't have anything to do because she had the residue or residual effect, you know. So, I mean, through all of this, we were able, I mean, just last Christmas, man, my dad came to my mom's side of the family's Christmas party
Wow.
because
Praise
we were
God.
honoring my brother who passed away.
Yeah.
And we used that family Christmas time to kind of go over the family that we lost throughout the year. And it was suggested by my brother, who you talked to, that we invite dad. And it was like absolutely mind-blowing that all that resentment could be healed in our family.
Yeah.
You know, and it was an amazing thing. And the only thing holding back, the only thing that we're missing, the only thing that wasn't, you know, there in my world now, there were other family members that weren't there, but Angel wasn't there.
Yeah.
And it was like still a part of me missing, but it's not going to not hurt until we can get back together.
Yeah.
It's not going to change.
I'm going to pray for it. And everybody listen, I want you to pray for it too. And if, Angel, if you happen to be listening to this, your dad loves you. And I think we need to put the religion or whatever else aside and just realize that we don't have a whole lot of time, whether you believe in the end or the rapture or whatever. we don't have a whole lot of time, even on this earth. Even if you live to be 100, it's not that long. And so maybe we can get along. And you need to not be a little butthole to her too. You
No,
understand
I
that?
wouldn't be. I
Okay.
just want to give her a hug.
Or I'll chop your knee. That's all you want. I believe you too. I believe you. So
I love my baby.
okay, let's wrap it up. What do you say? Love you, brother.
All right.
All right, say your thing.
Jesus loves you, and so do I.
Okay, thank you everybody for listening. And remember to leave us a review or like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. Thank you for watching. We are out.
I'll take you home.
Thank you so much for listening to the Help My Unbelief podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And more importantly, tune in every Tuesday at 9 a.m. for new episodes.